What's going on and welcome back. So I want to do an update on the Nova and let you guys know where we're at with the car. We did get the radiator in, not completely installed, but we got it in. We've got a cold air intake for the car as well. So I wanted to show that to you guys. I picked up some hoses this morning to see if they fit. It's going to take some trial and error with the coolant hoses, and I also got a belt. I'm going to try the belt on today. The plan is to get the engine cranked up. I want to get it started, so that's kind of what we're doing. So it looks like a complete mess in here because I've got the wiring harness all over the place, but I've started plugging that in to get everything ready just to crank it up. We want to get the engine cranked up because I want to hear what this thing sounds like, and I just want to run it. I just want to crank it up. But we still got the fuel system to do. I still got to figure all that out. So there's some fittings I know I need to get for that, and some lines, some fuel lines. So we'll have to get that. We'll have to get the fuel tank installed and that kind of stuff. But that is what we're doing right now. We're trying to get it to where we can crank it up, and yeah, so we want to hear it run. We've been working on this car for a while, and it's time to run it and then move on from there and start putting everything together and get it on the road. So anyway, let me show you what we've got so far, and then we'll test fit these hoses and the belt and see where we're at. All right, so as you can see, we've got the cold air intake installed. It's kind of a temporary fit right now. The radiator is there, it's still covered up. Like I said, I've got to test fit the hoses, upper hose, lower hose, and all that good stuff. I ordered some heater hose for the steam vent. That'll be in, I think, by Tuesday. And we got the throttle cable installed. Got the throttle cable in. We actually used the one from the truck that the engine come out of, so it actually worked out pretty good. And we've got full actuation of the throttle body, so that works. Had to do a little bit of modification to the cable. Had to cut, there's a plastic piece where it goes to the firewall. There's a plastic piece that I had to cut down to give more movement of the cable itself, but that works, and we've got full actuation, full close and full open, so that's pretty cool. We didn't have to buy any kind of expensive throttle cable. But anyway, as I said before, it is a wiring mess under here, but I wanted to get everything plugged in and start getting it set up to crank it up. We do have the computer. It has the anti-theft removed, so it should be good to go just to crank it up and kind of let it idle, maybe rev it a couple times, you know, that kind of thing. So we're getting there. But today, like I said, I'm going to test fit the belt and test fit the hoses. I don't have the connections on the radiator yet here, but I'll be able to judge just by you know, setting the hose up here, putting the one hose here, and putting the other hose down there on the thermostat housing. So let's get to it. Let's see how this stuff fits, and then we'll go from there. So I've done all about I can do today. I did get the belt on there. The belt is on. I've got the upper radiator hose fit, and I think the same hose can work for the upper and lower. I think I can make it work. We are still waiting on the correct fitting from Performance Online for the radiator, which is actually coming straight from Champion. Not sure if I mentioned that, but we did have the wrong fitting. We had 1.25 inches instead of 1.5 inches. We're waiting on the 1.5 inches to come in. But anyway, I should be able to make this hose work for the upper and lower. The cold air intake, I was looking at the hood. We should have clearance. We should have clearance for that for the turn. And we may have to shorten it up a little bit and bring that filter up, because I think right now, I think it's going to hit the inner fender. But I think we can cut that tube a little bit up and that filter should fit. Everything should fit nicely. So let me turn the camera around and let me show you what we've got and where we're at. So this is the part number for the hose. It's a Gates 22437. Here is the hose here. See if I can get you a better shot. I think that's going to work. I did put the 1.5 inch fitting in the radiator, so the fitting's in there. The hose is on it. I've got an adapter coming for the hose at the water pump. I've got that coming. Should pick that up Tuesday, so that'll fit nice on there. And there's the belt, man. The belt is on. I know it's kind of hard to see, but the belt is on there. It's routed the way it's supposed to. It looks like it's got the correct tension. Let's see if I can get you a shot over here of the belt. Really hard to see over here. But like I was saying, the cold air intake, that's going to be a little bit too far into the fender well once the inner fender is in. But I think if we cut the tube, you know, somewhere up here, we can slide that whole filter assembly up with the mass air meter, and I think it'll work. And then this right here, I'm going to use against the radiator support here. I'll make a bracket to bolt that to, so it'll hold it nice and steady. And let's see, what else do we have? I did start kind of routing the power steering hose, the return line. It's hard to see now because I got the cold air intake in the way. Let me see if I can get you in there. Here's the reservoir here, if you can see my finger. This is the reservoir right here, and if you can see the hose right here, there's the hose. I've got it run down, and it's running in front of the power steering pulley. I've got clearance there, and I've got it running across there, and it is going to hook up right here. This is the return, this is the supply. The supply I don't think I have to do anything with. I think it'll reach to the power steering pump. I don't think I'll have an issue with that, so I think that should be good. But that's the power steering return. I did need to get that done. And I do have hose coming for the steam vent, which is right here. We'll have to bend it a little bit and route it that way. But that's where we're at with the Nova. Not a lot of progress, but this is the kind of stuff that takes time to get everything set up and figured out. So I mean, we've got to do this. There's this is the kind of stuff that is just tedious, and but you got to do it. I did figure out about what I'm going to do with the fuel lines coming from the tank. Now with the fuel system, we're going to use the Corvette style regulator. I believe I'm just going to mount it like to this part of the tank here, and I'll be able to run those lines up to here. This is the supply, this is the return right over here. So I'll probably mount it something like this, somewhere along here, and just run those lines up, and then the supply will go out up to the engine bay. So we've got that kind of figured out. I might look into some pre-made lines. I don't know if anybody makes pre-made lines, but we'll see. We'll see what's out there, and get that stuff going, get this fuel tank up in there, and then we can run the one line up. But that's it for now. Not a lot of progress, like I said, but you know, this is the slow moving stuff, part of it. And again, the wiring is a mess just because we've got it set up there just to crank it up and run it. So, but once the engine's running and I'm satisfied with it, then we can get to work on getting the harness hid as much as possible and get to work on everything else and get this car going, man. It's been slow moving and somewhat aggravating, but anyway, that is going to do it for today. I'm going to end the video here. Not a lot of progress, but is what it is, and we're moving forward. But I hope you liked this video. If you did, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and we'll see you on the next one.